In this video, we are going to learn about user control. User control allows us to build a new control by using the existing ASP.NET or HTML controls. It is very frequently used in the scenario where you need to use or reuse the code or certain bunch of controls into multiple pages. One very frequent use of user control is to create the header and footer of the website as a user control and use that user control everywhere on the page, or even use it into the master page. There are many more use of it. It also basically helps us to make our application or the whole project easily maintainable, because if you have to maintain or you have to modify certain code that is in the user control, you can simply go to the user control and all the remaining pages that is using this user control will automatically gets the updated effect. So there are many use of user control. As and when you will keep using it, you will come to know the benefits of the user control. So first we are going to see that how to create a user control and use it in the content page or the master page. So let me show you how to create a user control here. Okay, so let me first copy paste the code of the user control from this page. So here you can see that I am copying the user control code, and then I am right clicking my project, add a new item, and web user control I have selected, and then I'm just renaming this to maybe my menu, and then I am pasting the code. Now remember that I don't need to paste the control directive because I already have my control directives. And then what we have is that we have a div HTML element, and under that div element we have kept some anchor tag like home, page 1, page 2. I'm just trying to replicate the standard menu that you see in most of the website in the header of their pages. So here is my user control. Now naturally we do not have any code behind for the user control. Now let me use this user control into my ASPX pages. So for that, what we need to do is that we need to simply use the user control by registering them on the page. So I'm going to register src is equal to my menu.ascx, tag prefix is equal to my, and tag name is equal to menu. You can keep any tag prefix or tag name. Okay, there is no limitation. And then what we can do is that we can write here my menu or run it equal to server id equal to my menu 1 or 2, whatever you want to keep. So now what we are doing here, we had created one user control. We have kept some HTML code inside it. We can keep ASP.NET code as well, and then that control my menu.ascx. Remember that the extension of user control page is .ascx, and then we are registering that user control here on the page using register directives by specifying its src, means the path of the user control, and the tag prefix and the tag name. Remember that my is my tag prefix, so that's what I have written, and my tag name is menu, so menu, and then run at server and id equal to my menu, whatever you want to use, you can use it. If you do not use ViewState, then you can simply write enable ViewState equal to false. Now when I will run this page, you will notice that my page will run, and in this page you will see that whatever content I had written on the user control will be written here. See, you can see here home, page 1, page 2, and apart from that I can write my own control. For example, here I'm going to write this is the text from the ASPX page. You can see here this is the text from the ASPX page, and this is the user control code. I could also keep some text at the top of the user control. So it's not like that user control can be kept only at the top or the bottom. Anywhere you want, wherever you want on the page, you can simply design a user control so that it will fit into that location, and you can use that user control at that location. The good part is you can keep HTML controls or HTML elements, you can keep ASP.NET controls, you can keep grid view, you can keep anything you want. Whatever controls you can use on the ASPX page, same controls you can use into the user control as well. And its event is also there. For example, mymenu.ascx, you can see that the way we have page load event into the ASPX page, in the same way we have page load event into the user control as well. So in terms of functionality of using the HTML or the ASP.NET controls, there is no difference, but user controls provides a lot of flexibility here. For example, assume that I could have just hard coded this code like this here, and assume that like default.aspx I would have thousands of pages in my website, and if I need to add another link into this menu, I would have to go to all thousands of pages and I will have to modify it explicitly one by one. But if I am using the user control, I will simply go to the user control and I will add one more link, and because the same user control is being used in all thousands of pages, so all pages will get updated automatically. So these are the few benefits that user control gives. Apart from that, there are caching and all other benefits as well that we'll discuss it later on. Now, to use the user control into the master page, we follow the same approach that we have followed into the content page. So in the master page also we'll have to first register it, and then wherever you want to put your user control, you can just keep that user control at that location. Now the next how to catch the user control data. When I'm saying catch, it means that how to save the user control data temporarily on the server memory, so that every time the user control code will not get executed. Okay, this is very beneficial in case you have very complicated data, or your user control output is built by connecting several third-party components, and those third-party components takes a lot of time to build that data. Then in that case of scenario, what you can do is that at the first load of the page, you can naturally do your processing by connecting to all third-party components, and then provide the output, and that output you can catch for whatever duration you want to catch, and in the further request of that user control, the processing of that user control will not be done, but the output that has been saved into the server memory will be served to the end user. So in this way, what happens, we are increasing the performance of the application because the user control code is not being processed every time, and on top of that, we also have flexibility to expire those cached pages based on the parameters that we will pass on the user control or on the ASPX pages. So we'll see them one by one. So first, let us create one user control. So here now I am going to do is that I have already one user control called mymenu.ascx, and I am just going to remove all the code from mymenu.ascx and going to add one label there. So my label is LBL time, enable view state tool first for equal to gradient active caption, and then in the code behind of the user control, we have written some code into the page load event. So let me write the code for the page load event. So in this page load event, what we are doing is that we are basically updating the label text with the current date time. Now let me run this page. So when I will run this page, you will notice that view in browser, that the current date and time will display. Let me change the color because color is not looking good. So red. Now you'll notice that the current date and time will be displayed here. So if every time I will refresh the page, the current date and time is being displayed on the page. Now suppose, just assume a scenario where you are getting this current date and time after doing a lot of calculations. Okay, just assume, it is not practical here, but just assume a scenario where you are getting this date and time after doing a lot of calculations, and you do not want to perform that calculations every time the page is being loaded. Then in that scenario, what you can do is that you can specify that my user control output should be cached. So here what you can do is that you can specify the output catch, and duration you can specify into the number of seconds. So for example, I'm writing 5 seconds, and then you will have to again specify var by param equal to none. I will cover that var by parameter into the forthcoming videos, that what is this, but for this just understand that we'll have to keep var by param equal to none. Now what will happen is that when we will run this page, you will see that this date and time will not change till 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds the date and time will change. It means that the output of this user control will be saved into the cache for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds the output gets expired, so that the page will be reprocessed and the fresh output will be given to the user. So let me refresh this page for the first time. You can see that it is 44. I am refreshing again, but still it is 44. After 5 seconds you will see that it has changed. So you can see that after 5 seconds it has changed to 50. Now again I am refreshing the page, 57. I am keep refreshing the page, but it is not modifying. But when I will refresh after 5 seconds, then you will see that date and time has changed. So this is the way to basically catch the user control data using output catch directives. This is very useful if you have to basically create your application in such a way that it performs very well. But do remember, you should not overuse the catch, because when you are overusing the catch, what will happen is that it will basically degrade the performance of your application. Why? Because all the output of these catch are stored into the server memory. So if your server memory is of not high capacity, then what happens is that your application ultimately gets slow down. So you should choose whether you have to catch the output of the page or not very carefully. Okay.